Hi everyone, here's a fairly short demo showing you how to do tempo changes in Logic Pro. So I have a project already preloaded up here. It's got some drums and it's got some bass. And what I'm wanting to do is have the tempo change, that is the tempo, the speed of the pulse change somewhere within this. Logic allows you to change tempos the two ways that you can change a tempo, which is either gradually, where it's gradually speeding up or gradually slowing down, or an immediate tempo change, where you're just suddenly faster or suddenly slower. So in this case, I have two examples. As you'll hear or can see, I put the tempo 150, so you hear what this sounds like right now with everything the same tempo. Okay, so the beginning isn't too bad at that kind of really fast tempo, but when it gets to bar 5, that seems just a little too fast, or maybe really too fast, so I'm going to have it slow down. So I'm going to do it both ways, one showing where it's a gradual slowdown, the other where it's just suddenly slower when I get there. So changing a tempo is what's called a global change because it affects all tracks. So I need to open up my global tracks view. At the top of the track list, there's a button with a down arrow, so I click on that and I can see various things including tempo. If you don't see tempo for some reason, you can right click and you can make sure tempo is ticked. So you can see there's a bar or a blue line that's showing the tempo as 150. So kind of like other automations, I'm just going to click in here to create nodes or points, and I'm going to then change the tempo. So actually, let's do the immediate tempo change first. So I'm going to click right here at bar 5, and I'm going to say at that particular point, I wanted to slow down way. I'm going to drag way down here, maybe to like 100 or so. 210, there we go, and it kind of redraws. So you can see visually it's going to be at this fast tempo and then just suddenly drop to 100. Let's hear what that sounds like. And again, if that's what you're going for, I'm going to make it a little bit faster there. Okay, so maybe that's exactly what I was going for, and then I'd be done and I could close this and it would still do that tempo change even without seeing it. And of course, if I had the click track on, I'd hear those tempo changes. Okay, so I'm going to now do it the other way though, that I want a gradual change. Well, the way it works in Logic, I'm going to actually delete out to this point. Whoops, stop that. Come on, I'm just gonna get that back. Okay, so I've got it at, what would I have, 150? So I'm going to start it back at 150. And what you have to do is you have to kind of think about where does the tempo start changing and where does it actually end, the tempo change. Well, I know at bar 5 I want it to actually be at my new tempo, but I want it to maybe start at bar 4. So I want this gradual change from this point to this point. So I'm going to, now that I have the 2 points, I can drag this down, and you'll notice, what I have done, about 120 or so. You'll notice that now there's that starting point, there's the end point, and now there's this black node between that I can click on, and I can just drag to create a slope. So this, it'll kind of pop in place to be a perfectly, in other words, this is halfway to my slower tempo, but I can also drag this to create a curve, which are a little bit more human-like, because human beings don't change tempo at this, computer perfect ratio. So if I want it to sound a little, in other words, it's going to take gradually longer before it's slowing down, but not quite as fast until it gets near, then it really starts speeding up. So let's try that. I'm going to put it right in the middle. Okay, and maybe I say, oh, that was cool, but it was too late of starting. So I'm going to start it back here at bar 3. So I'm just dragging that node back to bar 3. So that kind of made it much more interesting now with that tempo change. Maybe sometimes though that immediate tempo change is useful, but also sometimes that gradual slowdown, speed up can be really effective too when you're going into a new section. So there you go, pretty simple.